let's just pick up on schools because that's an area where we continue to do a lot of work, and beyond just our work as Safe Traces, I feel so strongly on the school issue. I have young children. I have a 7-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old son. We're they're fortunate to go to a good school district where the facilities are a lot better than many other parts of the U.S. But the U.S. just it does every couple of years. The American Society for Civil Engineers does a report card for U.S. infrastructure. Schools again just got a D plus. It's the second largest public infrastructure category in the country after highways. It is a disgrace, in my view, the conditions of school facilities in our country. They are chronically underfunded. They are chronically under maintained. They are completely set up for failure. And it's also, there's a huge equity angle to this, given the way that school infrastructure is financed within the US. It's largely a local concern through local bonding. And so you have a world of haves and have-nots. Rich communities bond, and then they have nice facilities and they have the money and the resources to make nice facilities. And then you have lower income, underserved areas, both in cities and rural areas, that the conditions are not places where kids should be going to school in. And I think that when we go in, we've seen the whole range: urban, rural, modern, not modern. And I'd say that, being a little bit more optimistic, but not naively so, I'd say that some schools, even ones that we went in thinking, wow, this is going to be very bad, it was pleasantly surprising that, at least in terms of when we measure to, are they hitting the CDC recommended equivalent air change and ventilation rates, it's not like the whole school is failing. It's like certain areas, and then they can be targeted. But of course, to the extent that we're not prioritizing this, and from a school perspective, they feel like, whether you're an administrator or facility manager, they just feel like the facilities that they have, they're not oblivious to the problems, but also they're taking heat from the local community. They are taking heat in the media. And so they're kind of at an impasse of, what do we do? And with that, they view things as not being properly resourced. And then, until we can actually get a lot of money to then fix things, then we're basically going to be resigned to having very bad mechanical systems and bad ventilation, but there's nothing we can do about it. And I think that probably misses some key points to me, which is, it's not all about resources. Even within bad buildings, you can do things that meaningfully improve the indoor air quality, and things like the Corsi Rosenthal box or other low-cost things can really move the needle and make things a lot better. The secondly is the resources that we've provided. The pandemic is unfortunately a case in point where a lot of stimulus money was provided that was either not used at all or not used well. And so we miss that, and that becomes then a weapon for people who think that school systems are not, responsible at handling resources, to then say, well, we can't just give them money because they're not going to use it. So there's a whole political angle. But at the end of the day, I think that we have to, this is really a public issue that needs to then create more pressure on politicians at the local level to do more. Because I think that, me as a parent, and I think a lot of other parents, you're just resigned to the fact that the school facilities are not up to par. Your kids, we see the impacts of that, not only in kids getting sick and then bringing it home, but also high rates of asthma, all sorts of other issues that come from poor air quality, with indoor air quality within schools. But then we just accept it and move on and kind of price it in, instead of then saying we need to do something about it and then really affect the change that needs to happen.